photograph taken during a camping trip in the Colorado mountains appears ordinary at first glance, until someone notices a strange figure standing among distant trees. Deep in a remote forest, a trail camera records something far more unsettling than wildlife moving through the darkness. Beneath the ground, engineers inspecting a sewer tunnel capture a brief glimpse of something rushing across the frame. An old VHS tape discovered years later appears normal, until viewers realize something unexpected is moving right in front of him. On a deserted road in the middle of the night, a traveler encounters someone who seems to appear out of nowhere. And inside a quiet lakeside house, faint music begins to play when no one should be near the instrument. Each moment was captured unexpectedly. Each left witnesses uneasy about what they saw. Perhaps there are ordinary explanations, or perhaps these recordings captured something that was never meant to be seen. Let's start with a photograph taken deep in the Colorado mountains. The figure among the trees. A photograph shared by a man from Pagosa Springs, Colorado, has sparked renewed curiosity online. The man, who prefers to remain anonymous, says the image was taken on 2011 during a packhorse camping trip near Square Top Mountain in the Arapahoe and Roosevelt National Forests west of Denver. At first glance, the photograph looks completely ordinary, but when the image is examined more carefully, something unusual appears. Among the trees in the distance stands a dark, upright figure. The shape appears tall and broad, partially concealed by the forest. Because of the distance and shadows, the details are difficult to see clearly. Some viewers believe it could simply be another camper moving through the woods. Others think the silhouette resembles something far stranger. The isolated terrain of these mountains has long been associated with reports of a legendary creature. For that reason, some enthusiasts believe the photo may show Bigfoot. But whatever stood among those trees may not have been the only strange figure the wilderness has revealed. The wolf girl in the forest. A man checking his trail camera after the weekend expected nothing unusual. The device had been positioned deep inside a deserted stretch of forest where wildlife commonly passed through. Normally the footage showed the same routine visitors: deer, raccoons, or occasionally a wandering coyote crossing the frame. But this time, one image stood out immediately. Instead of an animal, the camera had captured the figure of a young girl walking through the woods alone at night. The man later explained that the camera was placed in an extremely remote location. There were no nearby houses, no hiking trails, and no campsites where families would normally visit. What made the photograph more unsettling was the girl's appearance. She seemed to either have horns or wearing some kind of costume, with pointed ears visible on her head, which raises the question: why would a child be wandering through isolated forest like that, completely alone? And sometimes, when cameras capture something unexpected, the mystery doesn't stay above ground. The visitor in the sewer. During a routine inspection of an underground sewer tunnel, engineers from United Utilities were reviewing footage captured by one of their inspection cameras. Most recordings show nothing more than dark concrete walls, shallow water flowing along the floor, and the occasional debris drifting past the lens. But during this inspection, something unexpected appeared. As the camera moved slowly through the tunnel, a figure suddenly crossed the frame at high speed. For a brief moment, it resembled a small creature with a long tail rushing across the screen. The movement was so quick that it appeared almost like a blur. Some viewers suggested it could have been a large lizard that somehow entered the sewer system. However, others pointed out that the shape seemed far larger and faster than any typical reptile. The clip ends almost immediately, and whatever moved through that tunnel was never clearly identified. But not every unsettling figure moves quickly enough to escape the camera. The creature in old video. Channel D's Dark Adventures shared a footage given to them by a woman. The woman had discovered an old VHS tape recorded years earlier by her grandfather. Her grandfather had often filmed around his property because he believed strange figures sometimes appeared in the nearby woods. In the clip, while investigating a strange movement, he recorded the property where he suspected the movement, pointing his camera toward a line of trees. For several seconds, nothing unusual happens. Then something moves in the background. Between the trees, a dark figure appears in the frame. The shape appears big and irregular, with what looks like thick hair or rough texture across its body. At one moment, two pointed shapes on its head resemble horns and hooves instead of feet. Interestingly, the grandfather never noticed it while filming. Only later did the family realize the camera had captured something in his plain view. Yet sometimes the unexplained doesn't appear on film at all. It appears right in front of you. The roadside visitor. Late one night, around 1 a.m., a camper set out toward an abandoned cottage hidden deep within the forest. The building had a reputation for being haunted, and he planned to explore the area and document what he might find. While driving along a quiet, deserted road nearby, something unexpected appeared. Walking alone along the roadside was an elderly woman. The sight immediately seemed unusual. The area was isolated, with no nearby homes and no reason for anyone to be wandering there at that hour. Concerned that she might need help, the man pulled over. But as he looked back, something impossible happened. The woman had disappeared. There was nowhere she could have gone. Shaken, the man searched the roadside. To make matters creepier, he found was a small, tattered piece of cloth lying on the ground where the woman was standing. Whether it belonged to the mysterious woman remains unknown. And sometimes the most unsettling encounters begin with something far quieter than footsteps. The haunted piano. At a lakeside Airbnb in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, a man began recording late at night after hearing something unsettling inside the house. Earlier, the property owner had casually mentioned that some guests claimed a piano could sometimes be heard playing after dark. At the time, the man had dismissed the idea. But that night, he heard the music himself.
I'm fucking telling you, this place is fucking haunted. Do you heard that?
Yeah, I can't do this shit. It's so scary.
No, you go in there with me.
Yes.
They hear faint sounds of the piano and decide to approach the room where the piano is. Then he reveals another detail that makes the situation even more unsettling. The owner had told him that his daughter died years earlier in a car accident, and that her ashes were placed on the piano. As they enter the room, the camera points at the piano in a dark corner of the room. Then suddenly...
Oh, shit! Dude, no.
They run out of the room and the house to spend the night elsewhere. 6 encounters, different places, different witnesses, yet each leaves behind the same uneasy feeling. A figure among trees, a child in the wilderness, something moving beneath the ground, shapes appearing where no one noticed them before. Perhaps each moment has an ordinary explanation, or perhaps sometimes the camera briefly captures something we were never meant to see. The story doesn't end here. For more mysteries, join us and subscribe to Beyond the Myth.